Hi guys, welcome to my channel. For those of you new here, my name is Donna, and for those of you not new, thank you so much for continuing to come back and support my channel. I appreciate all of you so very much. Today is my next installment in my palette roulette series, in which I come to you and talk to you about a palette that was chosen from my app for me to utilize for the week. I show you pictures, I show you swatches, and I talk to you about the palette, my findings, and then sometimes I end this video with me decluttering said palette. This week we will be talking about this palette right here, which is the Becca Pearl Glow Shimmering Eyeshadow Palette, right? Yes. This palette originally was priced at $58 and it's currently on sale for $46 on the Becca website. It only lists $46 on the Ulta website, so I'm not sure what the deal is there, but it did come out as a limited edition item. On Ulta, it shows up with 4.2 stars, 31 reviews, and on Becca it shows up with 5 stars, but there's only one review. So we're gonna pretend like that one doesn't even exist. I didn't see many reviews on this. I think that there were some YouTube reviews, but I don't like really digging into YouTube reviews until I've honestly reviewed it myself, and then I forgot to go back in and look at it. What I can say about this palette that I don't love right off the bat is this packaging, this white packaging. It gets really gross and dirty super fast, which I feel that way about almost every single white package, to be honest. What I love about this packaging is it's a little bit iridescent. So this is what the packaging looks like. It is just white packaging with like this iridescence to it. I think that you guys can see that. It does have the Becca logo here. It is a nice like plastic, but it is also rounded. So it is going to be hard for you to store. A little bit of a boogerness to it, right? It's not necessarily going to, you can't slam anything up against it. It's going to have to sit on top if you stack it. If you're like sliding things next to it, like there's going to be a gap. So for my mind frame, that doesn't, I set it on top of something because I don't like the fact that nothing sits right on top of it, which is so stupid. It's stupid. It really is. But the back of the packaging is a really nice shimmering purple. It's kind of got this like purple lavender chrome effect to it, which is nice. It does have a sticker on here that tells you what each one of the shades is called, because the shade names are not inside the palette, and that sometimes has been a point of contingency for me because I do like the shade names on the palette. I don't like to have to flip the palette over to figure out what the shade name is, but I would rather they do this than not put shade names at all. So this has 51 ounces. This has 0.51 ounces of product, and there are 12 shades, which means each one of these pans has 0.04 ounces of product. There is a nice mirror in this palette. That is what it is called. It does say Becca down here at the bottom, but the whole palette is rather reflective. So I'm hoping that the lights pick it up the way that it needs to, because it is reflective and sometimes there is a problem with that. Again, like I said, this was a limited edition palette. It is still for sale, so I don't know how limited edition is, but what cracks me up is I did get this palette at TJ Maxx for like $14 or $15, something like that, and it is still for sale for $46 on the Becca website and on the Ulta website. So I'm not sure how I got this from TJ Maxx for $14. Typically when they go to TJ Maxx, they're done with them. So I'm not sure. But I am glad that I only paid $14 for this, or $15, whatever it was, because I don't know, Becca does some things really well, but I haven't had the most amazing time with their eyeshadow formula yet. And this one does have 3 different formulations. So it has a luminescent formulation, a pearlescent formulation, and a matte formula. The only 2 mattes in this palette are these 2 here. So we have a brown and then we have a black. They're called Luxurious Black and Luxurious Brown matte finishes. They are horrendous. They are I like them less than I like the worst mattes in my collection. I like them less than I like the Smashbox Spectrum palettes. Was that them? Full Spectrum, full? What were those palettes called? Yeah, anyways, I like them less than those. This black is awful. We'll get to swatches in a minute. This calls out on the Becca website that these are buildable, lightweight, soft, radiant finishes. I do feel that to be true. I am wearing this like really dark, like almost charcoaly shade all over my lid today, and it is soft, it is buildable, things build on top of it really well, it builds on top of others really well. What I found though is because of the lightweightness of this formula, of these formulas, you typically have to have like a base underneath them that is tacky so that they stick to your lid, because otherwise they kind of meander all over your face. There's quite a bit of fallout with this if you're not careful. Even then, when you are careful, because some of these are mostly glitter versus shimmer, it does fall out all over your face all throughout the day. These ones here are especially better with your finger. I did not find much success in using a brush to apply these. I did go finger first, pat on, and then I'd pick up on a stiffer, more dense brush to just kind of like help create the appropriate line that I wanted in my eye look. And I found that to work really well, but you definitely want to use your finger more with these shades. These luminescent ones are beautiful, but you need to pick them up with a stiff brush. If you don't pick them up with a stiff brush, you're not going to get very much pigmentation out of them. And I did find that these ones clung to the eye look a lot better than these middle shades did, of course. There's that. I think these two down here, oops, I just stuck my fingernail in that. These two down here are made more of glitter, I found, than of shimmer. I did like them, but I feel like they're better as toppers than they are anything else. I did wear them often in like my brow bone, just as a little like hit of glimmer in my brow bone, but I wasn't going to put them into my inner corner just because they are just a tad bit more chunky. I am going to go ahead and swatch them for you. We're just going to go row by row. So this row, that row, that row. We do have the first four, which are, look at how beautiful those are. Look at, those are so pretty. All right, so the first one is, this one is called Lilac Pearl. It is just a really beautiful luminescent lavender with lilac pearls in it. I don't know why they come out, like almost everything says with such and such pearls. The next one is this one. It is called Freshwater, and it is a pearlescent blue. Then we have Iridescent Aura, which is a pearlescent pink. But do you see what I mean about toppers? They're just so subtle, but so pretty. And then lastly in that row, we have that one, which is called Warm Sands, and it is a luminous sandy taupe is what it is. You guys, so pretty, but so hard to show you guys because like they're just really a topper formula. All right, second row, again, so pretty. We have Tahitian, which is, in my mind, it's a periwinkle. I think they called it luminous blue with lavender pearls is what they called it, but it's definitely a periwinkle. I did use this in my crease and one of my eye looks, and it was just so pretty. Probably one of my favorite eye looks, even though it was kind of out of my box, honestly. Then we have this one, which is Oyster. It is a pearlescent silver with white gold pearls. And then we have this one, which is called Sunlight, and it is a pearlescent white gold with gold pearls. And then we have last in that row, this one here, which is called Pink Pearl, and it is a luminous pinky gold with rose gold pearls. That one was probably my least favorite of the bunch, just because it just really lacks any kind of pigmentation. Last row, these are them. They're really pretty too. We have the exotic black pearl, which is just a luxurious matte black. But you guys, that really looks like a charcoal to me, and it doesn't really go on top of the other shades very well. Then we have this one, which is in my eye look today. This is called Pacific, and it is a pearlescent indigo with silver pearls. Then we have this one, which is called Cove, and it is a pearlescent chocolate with gold pearls. And then we have this one, which is called Coconut Shell, and it is a matte brown. Again, not amazing. What I would say about the mattes is they didn't... Here, let me get a close-up of this one for you guys. What I would say about the mattes is they didn't perform very well. That brown, especially, I put into my crease twice. I gave it 2 times that I tried it, and both times, upon trying to blend it out, it just became patchy and more patchy and more patchy, and I couldn't get it really to work the way I wanted to get it to work. So I did dive into my single pan shadows an awful lot for the mattes, just to lay down the colors to put underneath some of the other colors in this palette. Today I'm wearing like my ColourPop single that is in my project pan, and just this shade over the bottom portion of it in the lid, and I found that it worked really well both with that shade and on its own. Honestly, the second favorite eye look that I had is using this brown one in a look, and I'm really actually pretty shocked that these are the 2 standouts for me. What I would also say is some of these work really well as like face highlights. I'm not wearing it as a face highlight today, but this was one of my favorites as a face highlight. This was also one of my favorites as a face highlight. I think that you can just, these have the same formulation, I feel like the Shimmering Skin Perfectors do, these guys here, and therefore look really good on your face. I think this one would honestly make a really decent like light blush tone, because blended out, can you guys see that? I mean, it's just a baby pink, but if you blended it out instead of like just transposed it into one place on your face, if you blended it out really beautifully, I bet you that would just be a really pretty glowy blush. Look at how glowy that is. But truly, I think that they work really well also as face highlights, and I'm not really sure what to do with this palette, honestly. As I said, I am pretty happy that I got it for $14. I would be pissed if I spent $56 on it, $58, whatever that was. I would be pissed if I spent $46 on it. I don't think it's worth $58. I don't think it's worth $46. I think it's worth $14. And I am glad that I have it, because they really are beautiful and you can use them for highlights or blushes or whatever, but they should have been marketed as highlights and blushes, glowy blushes, not eyeshadows. I don't think that they were spectacular as eyeshadows, except for that brown and that blue down at the bottom. I really do love this eye look, and I really did love the brown one that I had as well, utilizing that dark brown pearlescent on my eyelid, this one here. But other than that, I did not have an enormously great time trying to use these shadows. The periwinkle look I did was pretty, but I think that those luminous shades for me are just a tad bit, I mean, I often put satins in my crease. These were a tad bit too much like a shimmer to put into my crease and make it look good. Even though that look turned out well, I don't think it was up close as pretty as it was from far away. So there's that. So we're going to pull a new palette. I need to go get my phone first. I have to be honest with you, it might be a palette that I end up decluttering, because I'm in the middle of a collection series right now, and I will be doing declutters after that. I have so many palettes that I just don't use any one of them enough to justify keeping one that I don't really love in addition to the ones that I do love. So it might be a palette that I declutter, but I'm just I'm just not sure at this point. I do want to think about it because, like I said, they are really pretty as toppers, and they are really pretty, I think, on your face. I just need to decide. I need to decide. That is all. That is it. Okay, for those of you new here, I do have a Samsung Note 9, and in order to pick a palette for me to use the following week, I do use an app that I get out of our Play Store in the Android system, and it is called the Decide Now app. It is just a decision wheel app. You put everything that you want it to decide amongst into the wheel, and then to spin it, you just press that button there. Then we utilize that app for the next week. So I'm going to go ahead and press the button. It's Marc Jacobs Flamboyant. I just did... Oh, wait, I'm getting all kinds of confused. I haven't done a palette roulette on this yet. I did a Get Ready With Me utilizing Marc Jacobs, right? Full face of Marc Jacobs, almost. And I thought that I had already done a palette roulette on this video because I did that. But let me go get that palette. I'll be right back. All right, guys, this is the palette that I will be using throughout this next week. This is a really good palette, honestly. I loved using it in my full face of video that I did. The one thing that I can say about this is there's not very much variation in this, so I'm excited to see how much variation I can get out of 7 pans of eyeshadow with only 2 of them being mattes. At the end of the week, we will see. I love me some color, so I might throw some single shadows in there as well, but it depends on what we're looking at for variation here. I loved the eye look that I got out of this palette when I used it for that video, so I am excited to use it, but I feel like I need more variation than 7 shades. But we'll see. So thank you guys so much for joining me today. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Do you guys have that Becca Pearl Glow Shimmering? Do you guys have that palette? That is such an absurd name. Like, that is an absurd name. It should be called the Becca Shimmering Skin Eye Perfector Palette. That's what I think it should be called. Because that's exactly what it's like. There's that. Oh my god. If you guys knew how many times I deleted that out of my video through editing, you could get drunk if you took a drink every time. Yep. Do you guys have the Becca palette that I just spoke about? And if you do, I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on it. Do you have the Marc Jacobs Flamboyant palette? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments section. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video today, and I hope that you enjoyed it enough that you're considering giving it a big thumbs up. Really does help our channels out here, and if you feel inclined to give me a thumbs down, please do, by all means, but let me know why down in the comments section. I always like to improve. I hope that you guys liked it or me enough that you're considering subscribing to my channel before you go, and if you do, please hit that notification bell so that you're notified every single time I upload. I do upload content 3 to 4 times a week, and I wouldn't want you to miss anything. Thank you guys again so much for coming today. Please stay safe. Please wear your mask. Please love each other, but love each other from afar. And until next time, guys, bye.